1. Introduction. Today was my first day at a new job. It was a big company in the city. I felt a little nervous, but I was also very excited. This job was important for me. I wanted to do a good job and learn many new things. I walked into the big office building. I met my new boss. His name was Ace. Ace was a man who seemed very nice and friendly. He had a kind face and a good smile. He spoke to me in a warm way. He made me feel comfortable very quickly. He showed me my desk and told me about my work. He was very helpful. As we talked, I felt something special. It was hard to explain. It was like we had a connection from the first moment. His eyes looked kind when he looked at me. He smiled often. I felt happy when I was near him. I thought, he is a good boss. But maybe I felt more than just respect for a boss. I watched him sometimes when he was working. He was very good at his job. He was smart and strong. My admiration for him grew quickly. I thought he was a wonderful person. I liked being in the same room as him. The office felt better because he was there. Later that day, I was near his desk for a moment. I saw a small photo on the desk. It was a picture of a woman. She was smiling in the photo. She looked nice. When I saw the photo, my good feeling changed a little. I looked at the photo, and then I looked at Ace. A question came into my mind. Who was this woman? Was she his wife? Girlfriend? Why did he have her photo on his desk? This small picture made me feel a little confused. It put a small question mark in my happy first day. 2. He is not happy. We worked late at the office one night. It became very late. The building was quiet and dark. Most of the lights were off. Everyone else had gone home many hours before. Only Ace and I were there. We were finishing some important work together. I felt tired, but the time with him was okay. We worked well together. Finally, the work was done. It was very late now, maybe after midnight. We stood up from our desks. We walked together to the elevators. The long hallway was empty and silent. We could only hear our own steps. We waited for the elevator to come to our floor. When the doors opened, we stepped inside. It was a small metal box. The doors closed and we were alone. The air inside the elevator felt different. It was a small space and we were close. The feeling was not like the office anymore. It felt more personal. The line between boss and employee started to feel less strong. Ace turned his head and looked at me. He did not have his usual friendly smile. His face looked tired and his eyes looked sad. He started to talk, not about work, but about his own life. He spoke quietly. He said, "My marriage is not good. I am not happy at home." Hearing these words was a surprise for me. I did not think he would say something like this. I remembered the photograph on his desk that I saw on my first day. The woman in the picture. Was he talking about her? Was she the reason he felt unhappy? My heart started to beat very fast in my chest. It was a strange feeling. I felt surprised and also confused. He was my boss. This was a very personal thing to say. It felt wrong for our work relationship. But at the same time, I felt something else, a connection to him. He looked sad, and I felt sad for him. Then he did something small. While we were standing there in the elevator, he moved his hand. He reached out and touched my hand very lightly. His fingers touched mine for just a second. It was a very small touch, but it felt very big to me. A warm feeling went from my hand, up my arm, and through my body. I felt warm inside, and my body felt a little shaky. Inside my head, a big fight started. One part of me thought clearly, "This is wrong. He is married. You know he has a wife." But another part of me felt the warmth from his touch. It felt the connection between us in that small space. It felt like something real was happening. Could this feeling be important? Could it be right, even if it seemed wrong? I looked at his face. He looked at mine. The elevator light showed our floor. The doors opened. We had to get out. But the moment did not finish for me when we left the elevator. His words about his unhappy life, his small touch, the intense feeling in that small metal box, they stayed with me. They created a new feeling inside me, a feeling of conflict. My head told me this was a bad idea, a dangerous path, but my heart felt a strong pull towards him. This was not just a job and a boss anymore. It was becoming something much more complicated and difficult. I walked away from the office that night, thinking only about Ace, his unhappiness, and the small touch that felt like the start of something big and maybe very wrong. 3. Our secret starts. After that night, things changed. We started to talk more, not just at work. Our conversations moved to late-night texts. My phone would light up with his name, sometimes very late. It felt exciting and also a little scary. We wrote about our day, about small things, and sometimes about how we felt. It was our secret world. No one else knew about these messages. Soon, texting was not enough. We wanted to see each other outside the office. Our first secret meeting was after work. We met near the office building, but not too close. He was waiting in his car. I felt nervous when I got in. It felt strange and new, like we were doing something wrong, but also something special. We talked for a while in the car. It was quiet and private. Then he looked at me and I looked at him. The air felt different. He moved closer. He kissed me for the first time. It was a soft kiss, but it felt very strong to me. In that moment, everything else disappeared. It felt like the world was just us two. After the kiss, my feelings for him grew even stronger. I wanted to believe that this was real love. I told myself that what we were doing was okay because we had a special connection. He looked at me with kind eyes and said important words. He promised me something that made my heart feel full of hope. He said he was unhappy and that he wanted to leave his wife. He told me he wanted to be with me, truly be with me, in the future. Hearing him say those words felt like a promise of a new life. I decided to believe him. I wanted to believe him with all my heart. I started to think about our future together. I started to dream about a life where we could be together openly, without secrets. I imagined simple things like having coffee in the morning together or walking in the park on a sunny day. These dreams felt very real to me. I hoped that soon his promise would come true and our secret could become our public life. 4. I dream of a future. Weeks passed, maybe 6 or 7 weeks. Our secret life continued. It was like a hidden road only we knew. We were very careful. At work, we were just boss and assistant. But after work, we met in different places. Quiet cafes, parks when it was dark, or sometimes in his car far from the office. We talked for hours about everything. We shared stories from our days. We laughed so much together. It felt easy and natural to be with him. We held hands secretly under tables. These moments were our treasure. We made small plans for the future, plans for when he would be free. "We can go to that restaurant," he said. "We can visit that town," I replied. Simple ideas, but they built a picture in my mind. My feelings for Ace grew stronger every single day. He was not just my boss anymore. He was my world. I thought about him when I woke up during the day before I slept. I wanted to be with him always. I started to call him my love in our texts. He wrote my love back to me. This made me feel so happy and safe. He often said, "Soon, Vicky. Soon I will leave her." I believed him completely. He looked at me with such warmth and love in his eyes. I bought a new dress, a beautiful blue one. I imagined wearing it for our first dinner when our secret was over. I felt so sure he would leave his wife soon. Then we could be free and together always. I started to dream about our life together. A home, maybe a small garden. Simple mornings, making coffee together. It felt so real in my dreams. I felt like the luckiest woman because I had found my love. One afternoon, I met my best friend for coffee. We talked about my job, my life. I told her everything about Ace, about our secret. It was hard to keep it inside. I told her how much I loved him and how he promised to leave his wife. Then I said the words I had only thought before. "I think," I said softly, "I think I will marry him one day." My friend listened quietly. She looked at me with kind eyes. She saw the hope in my face. I was so convinced our future was waiting for us. I held onto that dream. I felt that happiness deep inside me. Every day I waited for the moment he would say, "I am free now. We can be together." The dream of our future was beautiful and strong. It was everything I wanted. 5. A strange message. It was a day like any other day. I was at work. The office was busy, but I felt happy. I was thinking about Ace, about our secret. We had shared so many laughs and quiet moments over the past weeks. I called him my love in my head now. I truly believed he would leave his wife soon. My future with him felt very close. I was sitting near Ace's desk. He was talking on the phone, standing up. His phone was on the desk, next to a pile of papers. It was a normal phone, black. The screen was bright. Suddenly, the screen lit up with a new message. It was a text message. I could see the words clearly because I was close. I didn't mean to look, but I did. My eyes saw the words on the screen. The message was short. It said, "Doctor says everything is fine. Baby is healthy." There was a name too, but I didn't know it. It was a woman's name. My eyes read the words again. Baby is healthy. Doctor says everything is fine. My mind stopped. What did this mean? Whose baby? Whose doctor? My heart felt strange. It felt like it stopped beating for a moment. Then it started beating very fast, like a scared bird. A cold feeling went through my body. I felt sick inside, like I might throw up. Ace finished his phone call. He looked back at his desk. I looked at him. My face must have looked strange because he stopped. He looked at me, then at his phone screen. I picked up his phone quickly. My hand was shaking. I showed him the message. My voice was not strong. I asked him, "Who is this message from? Who is this?" My eyes asked him, "Whose baby?" He looked at the phone in my hand. He looked at the message. He didn't say anything. He just looked down at the desk. His face was quiet. He did not answer my question. He did not say a single word. The silence in the office felt very loud to me. My sick feeling grew stronger. The normal day was gone. Everything had changed in 1 second. 6, the big surprise. The office was quiet, but the air felt heavy. After I saw the strange message about the doctor and the baby, everything changed. Ace looked at me. His face was not happy. He finally spoke. His voice was low. "Vicky," he started. He looked down at his hands on the desk. "I need to tell you something. The message. It was about Elaine." My heart started to beat very fast. Elaine, the woman in the photo. The woman he said he was unhappy with. The woman he promised to leave. "What about Elaine?" I asked. My voice was small. He took a deep breath. "Elaine is pregnant." The words hit me like a cold wave. Pregnant. My mind tried to understand. A baby, his baby, with her. It was a big surprise, a terrible surprise. All his words came back to me. "My marriage is not good. I will leave her. I want to be with you." They were all lies, big lies. My dream of a future with him broke into 1,000 pieces. I felt a pain in my chest. It hurt to breathe. I looked at him, but I did not see the man I thought I knew. I saw a stranger, a man who lied to me for weeks, maybe months. "Pregnant," I said, louder this time. My voice was shaking. "You said you were leaving her. You promised me." He looked up. His eyes looked sad, but I did not care. His sadness was nothing compared to my pain. "I didn't plan this," he said softly. Didn't plan it, I shouted now. I stood up from my chair. You lied to me every day. You let me dream. You let me fall in love with you. Tears started to fall down my face. Hot, angry tears. He reached out his hand maybe to touch me. Vicky, please, he said, but I moved away quickly. I could not let him touch me, not now, not ever again. His touch felt dirty like his lies. Don't touch me, I said. My voice was hard, not small and scared anymore. It was full of anger and hurt. I looked around the office, the place where our secret started, where I felt happy, where I thought our future began. Now it felt like a cage full of lies. It's over, I said. It was not a question. It was the truth, the real truth. I turned and walked to the door. I did not look back. I walked out of the office, out of his life, out of the lie. I knew with every step that our relationship was finished. It was a terrible ending to a beautiful, fake dream. I felt empty, but also strong. I had to leave. I had to get away from him and his big, terrible surprise. 7, I talked to her. After everything, I knew I had to do something. I needed to find the truth, the full truth. I thought about the woman, Elaine, Ace's fiancée. The one who was having his baby. I made a difficult decision. I would go to his house. I would talk to her. I found the address. My hands were shaking a little as I drove there. The house was in a quiet street. It looked like a normal house. I stopped my car and sat for a moment. My heart was beating fast. What would I say? How would she react? I got out of the car and walked to the door. I took a deep breath. Then I knocked. I waited. After a few moments, the door opened. A woman was standing there. It was Elaine. She was wearing a big, soft sweater. She looked tired, but her eyes were kind. She looked very pregnant. My stomach felt strange. She looked at me a little surprised. Yes, she asked softly. I felt nervous, but I knew I had to speak. My name is Vicky, I said. I need to talk to you about Ace. Her face changed a little. She looked confused. She opened the door wider. Okay, she said. Come in. I walked inside. The house was warm and comfortable, very different from the office. We sat down in the living room. I looked at her. She was waiting. It was hard to start. I didn't know how to begin such a story. I'm very sorry to come here like this, I said, but I think it's important. Ace and I, we were seeing each other. I watched her face. Her eyes opened wider. She looked shocked. I told her everything. I told her about meeting Ace at work. I told her about the late nights. I told her about the secret texts and meetings. I told her about the kiss. I told her how he said he was unhappy. I told her he promised to leave her. I told her how I believed him. I told her I thought we would be together. I told her about seeing the message about the baby. I spoke for a long time. She listened quietly. Sometimes she put a hand on her stomach. Her eyes filled with tears. My own eyes started to feel wet. It was a sad story for both of us. Two women hurt by the same man. When I finished, there was silence, just the sound of our breathing. She didn't shout. She didn't get angry at me. She just looked at me with sadness in her eyes. "He told me he was working late," she said quietly. "He said he was unhappy, but he didn't say why." Then she looked directly at me. Tears were on her face. "Thank you," she said softly. "Thank you for telling me the truth. It is hard to hear, but I needed to know." I felt a little lighter after telling her. It was a difficult meeting, but it felt right. I stood up. "I should go now," I said. She stood up too. "Thank you again, Vicky," she said. I need to think." I nodded. I understood. I left the house. The air outside felt cold. It was over. My part of the story with Ace was truly finished now. I had faced the truth and I had shared it. 8. A new start. Vicky made a big decision. She decided to start again. It was not easy, but it was necessary. She knew she needed to leave the past behind her completely. So she left her job. It was the place where everything started, but also where everything ended badly. It was a hard day, saying goodbye to the office and the people she knew there. But she felt a little lighter when she walked out the door for the last time. It was the first step in her new direction. She also did something else important. She blocked Ace's phone number on her phone. She did not want to see his name or his messages ever again. It was a way to cut the connection completely and finally. No more late-night texts, no more hoping, no more pain from him. This action felt final and strong. It was a clear sign that she was closing that chapter of her life forever. At first, the pain was still there. Her heart hurt very much. She felt sad about the dreams she had lost, the future she had imagined with him. But slowly, day by day, the pain started to fade away. It was like a dark cloud moving out of the sky after a storm. In its place came a new feeling. It was a feeling of strength growing inside her. She realized she was stronger than she thought possible. She had gone through a very difficult time, faced the truth, and she was still standing tall. She learned that she could be strong even when she felt broken. This experience taught her a lot about love and about herself. She learned that real love must be honest and open. It cannot live in secrets and lies. She learned that believing promises is important, but seeing actions is much more important. Ace's promises were empty words in the end. His actions showed the real truth of his life. She learned to trust her own feelings and to listen to her heart, but also to look at the facts. Now, Vicky looked ahead. She did not look back at the past with sadness anymore. She looked to the future with hope in her heart. She believed that somewhere a true love waited for her. A love that was open, honest, and real, with no secrets hidden away. She knew she deserved that kind of love. This was her new start. She was ready for it. She was ready for a better story for her life. She was ready to find someone who was free to love her completely, with all his heart. She closed the door on the past and opened a new door to her future. She felt ready to meet new people and make new, happy memories. The lesson was hard, but she learned it well. She smiled a little as she thought about the possibilities. The future felt bright and full of hope.